Another day has come to an end in the highlands, in the jungles, and along the rivers of our lovely country. Wherever you are, KKC and your friend Amita have been with you on the radio that walks beside you. This is the end of the program, but remember what I say every week. Don't forget to be free. It's your only obligation.
Africa is the continent with the least access to the internet on the entire planet. Despite this, the results of the virtual revolution are visible every day in Africa as well. For the first time, thousands of African students have the opportunity to access global information quickly and at a reasonable cost. Never before has the rest of the planet had so much information about Africa available in real time. If we punch the word Africa into a search engine, we will get more than 50 million hits. At the top of this list, we find Africa Online, the most complete site for general information about Africa, and the largest internet service provider on the continent. Once at the home page, we have access to information from every African country on a wide variety of subjects: education, NGOs, art, health, women. If we click on women, we can find out, for example, how a group of female activists were arrested in Sudan, or the reasons for which the King of Swaziland has banned the wearing of miniskirts. Africa Online was the idea of a group of Kenyans living in the United States. In 1994, they returned to their country of origin to develop the site and set up a network of public internet access centers, the first cyber cafes in Africa. From any of these, it is possible to send an email for 10 euro cents, the cost of an envelope and pencil.
Allemagne. 6 États contestent la loi sur l'immigration. 6 États régionaux allemands gouvernés par des conservateurs ont déposé hier une plainte devant la Cour constitutionnelle contre une loi controversée sur l'immigration.
En 1983, donc, la télévision a été introduite.
Television came to Mali for the first time in 1983.
Et depuis,
since then, it has come some way, in spite of all the problems we have had to overcome.
Les problèmes qui se posent à nous.
Mohamed Lamine Touré is a cameraman, editor, and producer at Malian television. For some months, Lamine Touré has been working on a documentary about the situation of street children in Bamako.
If I called you at such short notice this morning, it's because I wasn't able to get everything together for this documentary until the last minute. For some time now, I've been considering the idea of making a documentary about the street kids of Bamako. We mustn't be oblivious and ignore the situation. We have to do something. Somebody has to come out and say something. The situation of this country's children is unacceptable. I've chosen this work, an audiovisual technician. I want to go as far as I can in this sector. I want to show the world what this country is like. I want to show what Mali's like, what Africa's like. Show other people that there are other interesting things about us.
Il suffit d'avoir la petite volonté seulement de vouloir se donner le temps d'écouter et de regarder les images.
It's enough if you just have the will and devote a little time to listening to and looking at the images that come out of Africa. Not images seen through other eyes, but images made in Africa by Africans. But for this, we need resources. And meanwhile, they leave us here vegetating with cameras that nobody uses anymore and lights that date from the birth of the cinema. It should be easy to understand that like this, we can't compete. Garibu means beggar in our language, in Bambara. It doesn't matter what corner of Bamako or all of Mali you look in, you'll find them there. Most of the time they're kids that should be in school or with their parents. We see these children begging together with older people. Where do they sleep? Nowhere in particular. In front of shops or markets, in the mosques. They are tempted in all sorts of ways, above all the girls when they reach a certain age. Every time a traffic signal turns red, you see the Garibus. They run up and sing, "Give to God, give an offering, and open the path to forgiveness in the great beyond." I've thought about doing a documentary about the Garibus and their current position in our society. Perhaps people would become more aware and try to do something to change it.
Mohamed Lamine Touré studied journalism in Mali and then continued his studies in London. He has worked in Japan and France, as well as with some of the best directors in African cinema. Lamine Touré could be working in Europe, but he has chosen to remain in his country. His wish is for Mali to create a competitive audiovisual industry.
The second issue I've wanted to study involves the Flani. Flani means twins in our language. In traditional Malian society, it was lucky to have twins. It meant that the house would see happiness. We believed, and still believe, that giving to the Flani brings good luck. But I'm surprised by the growth of twins in our city. What really hurts is above all when one realizes the blatant exploitation these children are subjected to. Some even dress children who are not twins alike. It's enough for them to have the same clothes and to look a little alike. They fool you and you give them alms. We also see women who, although they don't have twins themselves, will even go to the extreme of renting them from another family to make use of their services. To give money to twins, you have to cross your arms like this, just as our ancestors did.